You did it, fourth graders. You are on your very last long division video. So for today, we're going to have the learning goal for 10-6, dividing 4-digit by 1-digit numbers, as I can estimate and find quotients for 4-digit dividends and 1-digit divisors. I am so impressed with how hard you've been working these few weeks. And even though there's no homework over spring break, if you need extra help or you want to keep practicing, you can always reach out. Okay, so we are actually going to be working on the 4 problems that are on your reteaching page. So if you want to, instead of taking notes in your STEM notebook or on loose leaf today, you can actually do the work on your reteaching page with me. So the first problem says divide 4,318 by 7. So first we want to estimate. So we're going to think about just what we did in the earlier lessons. If I change the tens and the ones places to 0 and I look at the first 2 digits, I'm looking to see what number is close to 43 that I can divide by 7. So using my understanding of multiples, I can change 43 into 42. The reason I did that is because 42 is easily divided by 7. We know that that would be 6, and then I would attach 2 zeros. So those are the first 3 blanks on your reteaching page. And then I'm going to actually solve this problem. So I'm going to record it in my long division format. 4,318 divided by 7. How many times does 7 go into 4? It doesn't. So how many times does 7 go into 43? It goes in 6 times. Already I can tell that I'm on the right track because my estimated quotient was 600, and right now I have a 6 in the hundredths place. 6 times 7 is 42. I'm going to subtract and bring down. Next, I'm going to ask myself, how many times does 7 fit into 11? It fits in once. 1 times 7 is 7. Then I subtract. 11 minus 7 is 4. And finally, I bring down the 8. Notice it's helpful if I draw in the arrow so I can keep track of each digit more carefully. Now I'm going to ask myself, how many times does 7 fit into 48? 7 fits into 48 6 times. 6 times 7 is 42. I subtract and I have a remainder of 6. So for number 1, my answer is 616, remainder 6. And it wants to know, is my answer reasonable? Yes. 616 is very close to my estimate of 600. Okay, that's number 1. Let's try the next problem. The next problem asks us to divide 4,826 by 5. First, I'm going to estimate, so I change the tens and the ones place into zeros. For this one, I'm going to look at my first 2 digits. I can either round up to 50 or down to 45. The reason why 45 and 50 are both reasonable is because they're both very close to 48. Technically speaking, we should go up to 5,000 because 48 is closer to 50 than it is to 45. So now I'm going to see 5 divided by 5 is 1, and I attach 3 zeros. So my estimate for number 2 should be about 1,000. All right, let's go ahead and actually try this out using long division. So I have 4,826. I'm going to divide by 5. How many times does 5 fit into 4? It doesn't. But how many times does it fit into 48? It fits in 9 times. 9 times 5 is 45. I'm going to subtract. I have 3, bring down the 2. How many times does 5 fit into 32? It fits in 6 times. 6 times 5 is 30. You're going to subtract and bring down. And you're going to see how many times does 5 fit into 26. It fits in 5 times. 5 times 5 is 25. We're going to subtract, and I have a remainder of 1. So let's check for reasonableness. Is this reasonable? Yes, this answer is reasonable because 965 remainder 1 is close to our estimate of 1,000. All right, 2 more problems to go, and then we have a special challenge for you at the end. Okay, my next problem says 4,377 divided by 8. I change my tens and ones to zeros. I look at my first 2 digits, and I want to see what's close to 43 that's divisible by 8. I'm going to go down to 40. 40 divided by 8 is 5, and I have 2 zeros in my dividend, so I should have 2 in my quotient. Remember that first 0 belonged to 40. Okay, so my answer should be around 500. Let's check and see. So 4,377 divided by 8. How many times does 8 fit into 43? It fits in 5 times. 5 times 8 is 40. I subtract, bring down. 8 fits into 37 4 times. 4 times 8 is 32. I subtract and bring down. And last but not least, how many times does 8 fit into 57? It fits in 7 times. 7 times 8 is 56. I subtract, and it's hard to see, but I have a 1 left over. So 547 remainder 1. Is my answer reasonable? Yes, the quotient is reasonable because 547 is close to 500. Okay, last example and then the challenge. Okay, this problem says 7,192 divided by 9. I change the tens and ones to zeros. I look at the first 2 digits and look to see what multiple are they close to. So what multiples of 9 are close to 71? Well, the closest one would be 72. My dividend has 2 zeros, so my quotient's going to have 2 zeros. 72 divided by 9 is 8. Attach those 2 zeros and it's 800. So my reasonable estimate should be 800. Let's actually solve though now and see if that's what we come up with. So 7,192 divided by 9. 9 does not fit into 7, but it does fit into 71. It fits into 71 7 times. 9 times 7 is 63. I'm going to subtract, bring down. How many times does 9 fit into 89? It fits in 9 times. 9 times 9 is 81. 89 minus 81 is 8. I bring down the 2. How many times does 9 fit into 82? It fits in 9 times. Again, 9 times 9 is 81. I subtract, and I'm left with 1 left over. My answer is reasonable. In fact, it's super reasonable. My answer is 799 remainder 1, so that's about 800. Okay, so you have been hearing lots of silly jokes by Mr. Garreau. It is now your turn. He is issuing the Silly Spring Break Challenge, so it is your job to come up with your best joke. It can be a math joke, a science joke, or just your favorite joke. You can email it, you can record it, you can post it on Seesaw, you can post it on our Google photo album. However you want to share it would be great. Okay, I hope you have a wonderful spring break. Tomorrow we'll have our short division quiz, and then we'll be on to our next unit.